How do you do, everybody? Today I have a very special message that I think is more important than anything anybody has to say about politics or political differences. It's all irrelevant today because this is the Memorial Day weekend when all of us should take a moment out of our time to remember the soldiers, the sailors, the airmen, the women who are sacrificing themselves and giving every moment of their sacrifice for us. They don't ask nothing in return except the opportunity to serve their country. There's nobody so self-sacrificing as these kids are. I call them kids, but they're the men and women of our country. And nobody is fighting more bravely than them. Nobody is sacrificing more. Nobody is complaining less. They never complain. Do you ever hear of them complaining about the misery of what they have to go through to defend this country and to sacrifice themselves for all of us? When people today in this country are living like there's no problem. We almost forgot that there are kids out there ready to give their lives for us. And who here is even taking a moment out to even think of it? We know about it. We have it in the back of their minds. If somebody brings it up in a conversation, you say, oh, yeah, that's so true. But how come somebody has to remind you of it? Because somehow you never think of it. Let's be honest about it. How many times does anybody sit at a table discussing it? You hear about baseball games. You hear about a fight they have with their sister-in-law. You hear about some sacrifice somebody made because they could have brought you something they forgot to bring you. They were late with something. The soup was cold. The candy didn't show up. The cookie was soggy. The blinzer was a little wet. Everybody has a complaint about meaningless things and has things on their mind that affect nothing and mean nothing. But the slightest trivia somehow becomes important because we have such a great life and so much comfort and ease with which to live. And why do we have such a great, comfortable life? Why do we allow ourselves to be troubled and disturbed by meaningless trivia that will affect nothing in our lives? But the reason we're so comfortable is because the soldiers, the sailors, the airmen, the women who are sacrificing themselves for us all over the world. And not only that, the discomfort and the misery that they go through without a complaint. And when they lose their lives, we don't even have the decency or the concern and the compassion to think of them. How many times have we sent them a card? How many times have we given them a thought? How many times we could go to a church or a synagogue and say our prayers for them? How many times have we forgotten our own meaningless trivia and give ourselves the time and the thought and the prayers for the people who give everything in them, everything they own and everything they are and everything they stand for and everything they live for? What is it for? For you and me, so that we can live in peace and comfort. And for that sacrifice, don't they deserve a moment of our time? Thank God for Memorial Day so we could remember them. But every day should be Memorial Day to every one of us. Nobody should ever spend a day without thinking of them. God bless you. Keep that in mind, please.